Welcome. My name is Robert Newcomb. I am the CEO and founder of AI First Consulting and partnering with Alex and Mitch and the folks at CME to be delivering this AI Accelerator training. I also have Edward here. So, Edward, if you want to go off mute and see if introduce yourself briefly, and then we'll jump right in.
Sure. My name is Edward. I'm the lead AI developer at AI First Consulting. My position is developing AI agents and kind of automations for clients and helping companies kind of realize their automation dreams.
Thank you, Edward. And so this is an information session about the our AI for Manufacturing Accelerator program. So we're going to cover kind of at a high level what's covered in the program, the goals, who it's meant for, just to give you some more insight into our approach. So if at any time you have questions, feel free to use the Q&A at the bottom, and we'll wrap up at the end here. So McKinsey and Company, big consulting company, they've been doing research continuously with AI over the past number of years. And about a year ago, January 2025, they released a big report, and it said that their research finds the biggest barrier to scaling with AI is not employees who are ready, but leaders who are not steering fast enough. Now, when AI was first released, ChatGPT in November 2022, and when that started to take off, a lot of people were saying, what about jobs? What's going to happen to jobs? And there's thoughts that there was going to be a lot of fear with the technology, just like most new technologies. And there is fear, but it's kind of pervasive throughout the organization and more at that leadership level than the employees. The staff and the employees that we've worked with in different organizations, there is some fear, but that's mostly about they don't understand the technology, how it works, more on the privacy data security side. They're all eager to use technology to help them do their work better, quicker, more efficiently. And they're just looking for support and guidance of how to best do it, what tools to use, what are the best use cases, what data can and cannot be shared. So that's why I'm excited. We're doing partnering with CME on this program to help as many organizations and manufacturers start to adopt AI effectively, safely, and responsibly. So there's lots of reasons why companies are struggling with AI. I would say the number one reason is actually time. They just don't have the time to do it. They're not prioritizing it. There's not enough urgency. We've worked with many organizations that there's always other fires to be putting out, and AI feels like a nice to have and not necessarily a must have. But once you get over that track, there's really, a lot of comments that we're hearing is, what's the return on investment? So they're trying pilots, but they're not seeing it on the bottom line. They're not seeing it on their financial statements, the AI pilots and different things that they're rolling out. So in this program, we make sure that we do a lot of tracking and give you tools and systems to track the ROI of AI deployment. Other challenges is right now there's a lot of silos happening with AI use. So a lot of people aren't sharing what tools they're using, how they're using it, because they don't know if it's acceptable. They don't want legal or IT saying you can't use that tool, and then they're going to have to go back to the old way of doing things. So there's not as much sharing that's happening, and the guardrails and the policies are not in place. So through this program, we'll help set up the guardrails, the AI policies, get that leadership buy-in. So there's that psychological safety throughout the employees to share, because if you're trying to learn AI on your own, you are not going to be able to keep up. It needs to be a exercise throughout the team, the organization to share what you're doing, how you're applying it, the tools, the prompts, and so on. And we'll help set up that foundation through this program. There is some fear about job loss, but it's mostly about change and job change. What activities now am I going to have to do differently? What are my tasks changing? How is that going to affect my role? So helping set up that psychological safety to reward experiments and failures, because not every AI use case or pilot is going to be successful. And our focus is on use cases first. There are so many tools that we have a hard time keeping track of all of them. We're learning about new tools every single day. And that can be very fatiguing and very tiring. So we don't focus on the tools. We focus on the use cases first, and use cases specific to manufacturing and the back office knowledge work part of manufacturing. Um, so we're we're trying to combat that fatigue and those challenges about being overwhelmed with all the different tools and technology out there. So we want to look holistically across the organization, not just individuals with their tools and skills, but how can we look at value stream mapping, process mapping, the standardization of integrating AI from end-to-end processes, so you can see the value on your financial statements and not just a sense from individuals. So this is for all types of employees and individuals within the organization. So whether it's at the very top, the senior leaders, we're going to be talking about strategy, how to roll this out, the change management, the policy is part of that. But I do think kind of that whether it's a senior level leader, upper management tier that wants to apply and use these AI tools, they're going to get a lot from this organization. So really, like, we don't recommend frontline staff that are on the floor, that are operating the equipment, the machinery. They're not the best ones suited for this. It's the knowledge worker folks, the ones that are attending the meetings. They're on their laptops. They're working on computers, and they're doing that administration type work. They're the ones that are going to get the most out of this program. And if you think to yourself, I don't have time for this, I can't make time for this, you're probably the best person to attend this training, because AI is going to help you save time, and you'll want to carve off the time to learn the tools and technology. Now, if you're here just to look for some shortcuts as far as having custom AI solutions developed for you, we're not going to be doing any building for you as a part of this program. And if you're looking to just hog these AI skills to yourself and not share it with your team and the rest of your organization, the whole purpose of this is to help share the knowledge throughout the organization. Um, and similar, if you've gone through any lean, continuous improvement, operational excellence exercises, AI is in a similar way. It's not looking to cut headcount. It's doing things more effectively and efficiently so you can be more productive and actually grow your team as a result. So this is a fairly intensive program. It's going to be, and I'll cover this in a few slides, 3 hours a week in the evenings. Uh, but there's also going to be work that you need to do outside the sessions, to apply it to your work, to help others on your team learn about some of the tools and technologies. So if you're just hoping to attend the sessions and that's going to be it, there will be homework, there will be activities, and you will just need to experiment and play around outside of the sessions to get the most from these tools. So the goals for our program, really, it's to build AI literacy and leadership capacity amongst all participants and their organizations. We want to develop a shared understanding of AI first thinking. One of the biggest challenges is building these habits around AI technologies. And so instead of going to Google like you would, you go to an AI tool. Instead of going to a colleague first to ask a simple question, maybe you can use and leverage AI. And that's a big behavior change component, which we focus on in this training program. We do want to help you create your own organizational AI roadmaps. So we do, even though these are all group sessions, we do offer one-on-one coaching, and we want to make sure that you're getting value from this tailored to your organization as well. Also, throughout the program, you'll be making connections across the manufacturing sector. So other participants, we want you to share with each other best practices, tools, prompts, lessons learned, challenges. I mean, that's the benefit of working with an association like CME, is you can learn and share with others, not just from ourselves. So really, this is just help lay the foundation for peer learning, mentorship, and change within these organizations. So this is our proposed schedule. We're looking right now to start late March, March 23rd. And what we're going to be doing is mostly in the evenings. So we know it's challenging to try to find time to align across all the different organizations through the workday. So our proposed time is Mondays for our core training sessions from 6 to 9. I don't anticipate these sessions will be a full 3 hours. We have 2 hours of material plus, but you never know what discussion, Q&A, and stuff might come up. So we've dedicated on our end 3 hours every Monday. Everything is virtual. So log in. We will be recording the sessions, And so if you can't make it, you have something that comes up, no problem. It will be available to you to review later. Along with our core training sessions every week, we also have optional deep dives. So we have some very specific themes that we'll be looking at as far as going deeper into a specific tool or technology or workflow that you can integrate, where it'll be very much a hands-on demo. We won't be covering any slides during these sessions, but what we also want to see is some deep dives with participants. So folks that are interested, they will come with a problem, come with a workflow, come with a challenge, and we'll work through it live with them, and everyone else can learn and watch and listen at the same time and take some stuff away with them. So we want to make sure that we're not covering any confidential proprietary information in those sessions. But otherwise, we feel the best way to learn is to actually go through real problems. So we can simulate some, we can do some demos, but if you have actual problems to work through, that's what we want to save time for. And those will be Wednesdays, weekly from 6 to 9. We want to say like these deep dives are optional. We know it's going to be tough to do 2 full evenings a week for everyone, so we will be recording those and sharing them, but we do want to kind of go deeper along with the core training sessions. With every organization, we will be allocating time for one-on-one coaching. So that'll be a 30-minute session throughout the week. And this is more to customize and tailor our advice specific to your organization. It's fairly generic as we're going through tools and workflows with a large group. But so we don't know what your current technology stack is, your AI maturity, what your goals and objectives are. So we'll be focusing that advice in these one-on-one coaching sessions. And that's a chance for you to ask us any questions that you might not be comfortable asking within the rest of the group. And then there's going to be some self-study homework application. As far as the training sessions go, it's not like we're going to give you a whole lot of like assignments to do, but it's things that we want you to apply and try in your work, as well as attending these sessions in person. This is our core training sessions right now. I have a little asterisk here because the technology is changing so fast that there might be some areas that we want to spend more time on and other areas that we want to spend less time on. So especially, if we're looking at May, that's 4 months away. There's going to be a lot of change in AI between now and then, I'm anticipating. But otherwise, we want to cover all areas within the business. So we start with just AI literacy, generative AI 101, how to conduct staff surveys across your organization to understand the baseline and maturity. This will help also capture the return on investment, seeing where you are now and where you're going to be in the future. We talk specifically about use case identification and evaluation, where are the best places for AI in your organization. We'll talk about setting up an AI task force within your organization, how to do governance, guardrails, AI policies, that sort of thing. So these first 3 weeks are very much foundational. And then we start getting into specific use cases and application of AI. So whether it's writing and communication, that could be emails, documents, SOPs, checklists, anything that has to do with writing. We'll talk about research with AI, as well as like searching and knowledge management, SharePoint or any other tools that you're using, how to find files, that sort of thing. Data analysis and reporting, whether it's using AI within Excel or just using these AI tools and skipping Excel entirely, creating charts, different types of analysis. We also have email, calendar, and administrative workflows, meetings and collaboration tools, including meeting note takers. And then we'll go deeper into different automations. So whether it's using Power Automate in Microsoft or some of these other tools like Make.com or N8N, how to tie systems together. We'll also look at agents and how to use AI agents to not only with the chatbot interface, but to actually take action on your behalf. And then the last 3 sessions are really about kind of redesigning your work. So how do you do current state mapping with AI, process redesign, future state mapping with AI, and then the final session for a program wrap up. As it stands now, for these optional deep dives, we do have topics in place that we can go deeper on, but we may just, if we have a good participant-led activity, challenge, or opportunity, we do want to save time for that. So I'm not going to go and read through this list. These are mostly in line with the other 13 training sessions. So the training session, we'll do kind of, some slides, some demos, but then we'll get really deep into very specific use cases in these deep dives. So whether it's creating custom GPTs or creating like agents within the Microsoft environment or using other tools, a lot of this prompting, whether you're using the same tools as us or not, is going to be applicable across all different types of technologies. Um, so yeah, we have lots of time for this. We want to do that hot seat, that participant deep dive. So we have some buffer and some flexibility in the schedule over the 13 weeks. And we want to just say, like, we don't, anyone uh, involved in this program, you don't need to know any machine learning. You don't need to have any experience or expertise in artificial intelligence. We're going to be giving you the system, walking you through the steps, starting with the foundations and the basics to build up throughout the training, and then give you the tools to help share it within your organization. So focusing kind of on the policy and the foundation, then looking at process and performance and where you can get more leverage from these AI tools, and then thinking long term with AI, how you want to set up your organization for long term success. We'll talk about a roadmap and how to make sure you have a foundation in place to continuously improve and adopt and adapt to these AI technologies. So Edward and I are going to be leads on this project. Edward is our senior AI developer, so anything as far as like custom technology builds, complex AI systems, automations, agents. He's the guy. I will be resorting to him for most of those sessions. Otherwise, I will be the lead going through the training sessions and most of the deep dives and some of the coaching. But we do have a full team that's supporting us as well. So if it's more on the HR side of things, we'll bring in Alexandra. If it's more on sales and business development, we'll leverage Seb. So we do have a team supporting us in different areas where we're all specializing in different tools and applications and in areas within business. Alex, I don't know if you've seen any questions come up or if anyone of the participants has any questions about it, but this is the material that we wanted to share today. I just see a quick question from Mike. How many weeks again? So it's 13 weeks starting at the end of March. So I think that takes us to the mid end of June.
I think a lot of manufacturers normally have this question in their minds. How does this program connect AI adoption to productivity, operational excellence, and continuous improvement?
Yeah, I mean that is the focus. My background as industrial engineering, Lean Six Sigma is we're not just applying AI tools for the sake of applying AI tools. We want to make sure that this is helping companies be more productive. So if you we're already working with organizations that have a CI program or an operational excellence program, and this can kind of fall under that program or continuously be after the training's done, we often see CI programs kind of running with artificial intelligence because it is about the improvements and making improvements and tracking improvements, understanding what the cost is, or like the value and the return on investment. So yeah, this is something that fits really well with a lot of CI programs.
How do you position AI internally so the employees see it as a support, not a threat?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is just about communication. Understanding, just like you would a continuous improvement program where you're looking to reduce costs, it's reducing costs in the right way. So we position it in a way that we want to help employees with AI. How do you best support them so it's helping them with their pain points, with their challenges, with the things that drain their energy? So focusing it first, not as a cost-cutting initiative or a revenue increasing initiative. It's an initiative to help your employees. So it's employees first. That's at least our approach. You might want to take a different spin within your organization. But we find if you get employees bought in because it's technology that can help them do their work, help them focus on their strengths and what they've been hired to do in the first place, and using AI for more of that administrative drudgery type tasks, then you're going to see the buy-in. And then once you see that buy-in and folks are using it, they're experimenting with it to improve their work, then you can start focusing on some of those larger projects that are going to have a higher return on investment after. So once folks see that it's not coming for their jobs and it's actually helping them with their jobs, and you have that communication buy-in from the top level leadership, it in our experience, it's been there's always going to be some people and some things, just like any change, that are going to be opposed to it. But in general, the majority are very much looking forward to using this technology. So I see a few more questions that have come in. Um, what tangible outcomes will a manufacturing company actually have in hand by the end of the program? So throughout this, we'll make sure that you have an acceptable AI usage policy. So if you already have one, great, we'll help you improve it. If you don't want have one, we'll make sure that you have one early on in the program. There will be a roadmap that'll be created as far as how you're looking to deploy AI. Otherwise, a lot of the outcomes or outputs are going to be specific to the organization. So we're going to be talking about many different areas that AI can be applied, whether it's research, writing, data analysis. So our goal is to help you improve your processes leveraging new AI technology. So you might have new SOPs, you might have new process maps, you might have new checklists, new ways of doing the work. It's going to be however this organization takes the learnings and applies it back to the organization. We're leaving it open to these companies. But ideally, there's, as far as key metrics go, number of folks trained, we want you to take this back to the rest of your organization as well. So we want the adoption and we want the AI literacy to be increased as well. So how you're doing that outside of the program will be up to you. And then I see one more question here. How much time should a participant realistically expect to commit each week? So at least one session per week, 3 hours. We want to have one coaching session about 30 minutes. And then it's up to determine, how much you want to take, how much time you're using with AI right now. Like I think that is going to be, if you're not using AI at all, you're going to want to take some time out of your week, at least 2 to 3 hours a week to apply what you're learning at work. So I would say minimum 4 hours. Most of that is like outside of working hours, but ideally during your working hours, you're trying to improve processes, work on the business, leveraging AI. And that could be anywhere from a couple hours to, this could turn into a full-time job if that's your role with CI and AI in your work. So, okay, one more question. So, differences between this program and something that we do in a full day workshop. So this program there's a lot of material. So we're able to go a lot deeper in many different areas and many different tools as far as, covering 13 weeks. So this is more helping organizations think strategically about AI, how they're going to deploy it, as well as the tools and application. If we're to do a 1 day workshop, we just can't go as deep in any one of these areas. So it's more just like what tools are out there, what you're able to do at a high level. Like let's build one thing and work together in a full day workshop where over a span of 3 months, we'd hope you'd be able to build multiple things with multiple people in multiple areas of the business.